Hello, my name is Jonathan Alexander, and I'm applying to Arizona State University Master's of Counseling program.
Why are you interested in our Master of Counseling program at ASU, and what makes you a good fit with the program?
I feel I'm a good fit for the Master's of Counseling program, being it will develop me into a productive counselor in my community, helping children, adolescents, adults, and crisis who are seeking guidance and to get them in a more giving them more mental stability. The biggest interest in the program for me is honestly learning better assessments, program planning, which helps the counselor better approach the response of trauma and crisis and cultural challenges by researching and finding real solutions, which I believe are instrumental to the process. And then I believe I'm a good candidate, honestly, because being one who has experienced and witnessed traumatic situations in life, and showing characteristics, dependability, communications, realism, and supportive attributes. I think it helps in this field, and it will give me a good, I guess, spot in the program. And then in my past experience, I've been working in multiple group homes as a youth counselor, helping students. And then at the same time, for the United States Army, I've been working as a DoD sexual assault response coordinator and victim advocate. And I think that gives me a lot of experience that would make me a good candidate.
Imagine you're meeting with one of the clients described in the case studies below. Although you aren't expected to have formal counseling experience, we encourage you to think about how you might approach working with this person. Take into account their cultural background. How would you support this client?
When I was reading those, I chose look at the client number three and the response to support. And reviewing the situation, I will first focus mainly on listening and hearing what is really frustrating and bringing the pressures to the client. Um, to better identify the key triggers, motives, thought process, or feelings. And then from there, support and directing her to a more realistic, way of thinking process and away from those irrational thoughts, in her head. And by looking at her struggles with her cultural expectations and just helping her identify that her family and friends are there to support her as a team to help her get through those things, just like I'm trying to do, to a more successful household and mental states going forward for her.
Briefly describe a time when you received a challenging feedback and how you responded.
Uh, well, just like I mentioned earlier, I'm in the United States Army, and given groups of soldiers that I must supervise, but provide mentorship, advise around the clock in a counselor like capacity. And the feedback received was to give an equal amount of time to all in need, identifying to myself, I cannot save everyone. Basically, I would put too much focus on one person at a time where it was making them feel, you know, uh, putting other people on a kind of like on the side burner, that they weren't really getting attention. Even though I was giving them attention, but just not as an equal amount. So I will focus more too much. And getting that feedback, it helped me identify that when I did do that, those soldiers were the ones that I really needed to make sure I keep a touch base on so that I can continue to give them that advisement and help them going forward, so that they get that equal attention. And I think that's really important that you give that equal attention to everyone. So thank you. Thank you for this opportunity and listening to my presentation. Appreciate you.